Imagine a murder hidden so well that even the police are stumped. A body lost in a vast forest. A killer covering his tracks. Now picture two unlikely heroes. Police dogs with noses so sharp they can uncover what no human could. This is the true story of how Bear and Otis, two canines, brought justice in the Emma Faulds murder case in Scotland. Stay with us. You won't believe how these dogs cracked the case. A life cut short. In April 2019, the small town of Monkton in South Ayrshire, Scotland, was rocked by a tragedy. Emma Faulds, a 39-year-old youth worker known for her warmth and dedication, vanished after a night out with a friend. Her disappearance sparked a massive police search, but weeks passed with no sign of her. Fear grew that Emma had met a tragic fate, and her family was left in agonizing uncertainty. The police followed every lead, but the trail seemed to go cold, until two extraordinary police dogs, Bear and Otis, stepped in. Their discovery in a remote forest would unravel a chilling crime and bring a killer to justice. Welcome to Beyond Facts TV, where we dive into stories that go beyond the headlines. Today, we're exploring the Emma Faulds murder case, a heart-wrenching tale of loss and the incredible instincts of canine heroes who ensured justice prevailed. Emma's world. Emma Faulds was a vibrant soul in her Kilmarnock community. At 39, she worked at the Kibble Education Centre in Paisley, helping young people with compassion and energy. Her love for animals was evident in her devotion to her Westie, Maverick, who was like family to her. Emma was close to her parents, Margaret and Ian, and her sister Sarah, often sharing her plans and dreams with them. She was looking forward to her 40th birthday, a milestone that should have been filled with joy. Emma had worked as a prison officer at HMP Kilmarnock, where she met Ross Willox, a colleague who became a friend. Their bond was platonic, built on shared experiences, and on April 28, 2019, Emma visited Willox's home in Monkton for drinks and to see his new rescue dog. She messaged a friend at 8 p.m. saying she'd have a few drinks and stay over, her tone upbeat. But when she didn't show up for work on April 30th, her employers alerted her family. Her parents, visiting relatives in Brighton, reported her missing, and police found Maverick alone in her flat, a sign something was terribly wrong. The search for Emma began, with her family and friends desperate for answers. A betrayal in the night. The truth behind Emma's disappearance was devastating. On April 28, 2019, Emma was murdered by Ross Willox, her friend of nearly 2 decades, at his home in Monkton. The exact details of what happened remain unclear. Willox never revealed his motive or how he killed her, though an injury was noted on her neck. Prosecutors believe Emma never left his house alive. After the murder, Willox went to great lengths to cover his tracks. He drove Emma's body in his Mercedes SUV to Glentrool Forest, a remote area in Galloway Forest Park, where he had worked on wind farms. There, he buried her in a shallow grave, covering it with soil and vegetation in a wet area to hasten decomposition, hoping she'd never be found. Willox then returned Emma's car to her street, wiping it down to remove evidence, but his DNA was later found on a seat lever. He told police conflicting stories, claiming Emma drove home or that he left her at her flat, fit and well. His actions grew suspicious. He bought bleach, gloves, and disinfectant, and made 2 trips to the forest area. As Emma's family put up posters, Willox did nothing to help, even calling police for updates while deflecting blame. The police, led by Operation Solzen, were closing in, but finding Emma's body was critical to proving his guilt.
Bear and Otis, the forest finders.
The turning point in the case came from 2 remarkable police dogs, Bear and Otis, trained by Police Scotland's canine unit. Bear, handled by Detective Constable Ben Pacholik, and Otis, with his handler, were specialists in victim recovery, trained to detect human remains in the most challenging environments. Their noses could pick up scents undetectable to humans, even in vast, rugged terrains like the 700-square-mile Galloway Forest. The police had narrowed the search to 10 to 15 square miles using CCTV, cell site analysis, and Willox's connection to the area. But finding a body in such a wilderness was like searching for a needle in a haystack. On May 21, 2019, Bear and Otis joined the effort, covering over 200 miles of forest over weeks. On June 12, after an exhaustive search, Bear began barking, signaling a find in Glentrool Forest, east of Loch Moon. Otis confirmed the location, and the police uncovered Emma's remains in a hollow, covered with rotting vegetation. The discovery was a gut-wrenching moment for the team, but it was the breakthrough they needed. Bear and Otis had done what seemed impossible, giving Emma's family a chance for closure, and the police the evidence to secure justice. Justice for Emma. The discovery of Emma's body was the key to unraveling Willox's lies. The police used forensic evidence to build a damning case. Soil on Willox's timberland boots matched the earth at the burial site with 92% accuracy, linking him directly to the crime scene. CCTV footage showed his SUV in villages near the forest the day after Emma's murder, and his purchases of cleaning supplies raised red flags. Cell site analysis placed his phone in the forest area, contradicting his alibis. Willox's conflicting stories to Emma's sister Sarah, first saying Emma drove home, then claiming he took her, further eroded his credibility. Arrested on May 8, 2019, Willox denied the charges, but the evidence was overwhelming. At the High Court in Glasgow, the jury convicted him on May 25, 2021, of murder and attempting to defeat justice. On June 22, Judge Lord Mulholland sentenced him to life with a minimum of 20 years, calling him a selfish, arrogant monster who left Emma's family in torment. The verdict brought relief to Emma's loved ones, who described her loss as a tremendous void, but thanked the police, especially Bear and Otis, for their tireless work. The legacy of Bear and Otis. The Emma Faulds murder case is a powerful testament to the extraordinary abilities of police dogs Bear and Otis, whose skills brought closure to a grieving family and justice to a killer. Emma's memory lives on through her loved ones, and the heroism of these canines reminds us that even in the darkest moments, hope can prevail. If you were moved by this story, please like, share, and subscribe to Beyond Facts TV for more true crime tales. Know more about this case or other canine stories? Comment below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.